In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Ako po si Brother Bert Alba ng Servant Communities. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Servants on the Web. We are now in episode 10 in our regular Sunday series, Living the Word with the Word Method. Today, October 11, is the 28th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And the Gospel for today was taken from the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 22, verse 1 to 14, on the parable of the wedding feast. First, let's read together the Gospel according to Matthew. St. Matthew chapter 22, verse 1 to 14, the parable of the wedding feast. And again, Jesus spoke to them in parables, saying, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son, and sent his servants, all those who were invited, to the wedding feasts, but they would not come. Again, he sent other servants, saying, tell those who are invited, see, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fat calves have been slaughtered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast. But they paid no attention, and went off, one to his farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his servants, treated them shamefully, and killed them. The king was angry, and he sent his troops and destroyed those murderers and burned their cities. Then he said to his servants, the wedding feast is ready, but the invited are not worthy. Go therefore to the main roads and invite to the wedding feast as many as you can. And those servants went out into the roads and gathered all whom they found, both good and bad. So the wedding hall was filled. When the king came, we saw there was a man who had no wedding garment. And I said to him, friend, how did you get in here without a wedding garment? And the man was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, bind him hand and foot and cast him into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are invited, but few are chosen. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Okay. As I understand the parable, the king is God the Father, and his son is, of course, Jesus, who is the bridegroom. But who is the lucky bride? Hindi binanggit ni St. Matthew kung sino yung the lucky bride of the Son of the Father. Sino kaya ang lucky bride? According to Bible scholars, the whole of the Bible is God's love letter to you, to me, to all of us, to all humanity, inviting us to be the bride of his son, Jesus. Tayo pala yung mga bride. According to Isaiah 54 verse 5, for your creator will be your husband. So we are the bride. Jesus is our creator and he will be our husband. If we say yes. Di ba? The parable of the wedding feast describes the many ways humanity has responded to the king's invitation to be the bride of his son. And with this as a background, let's apply the word method on the parable of the wedding feast. Word, W-O-R-D. Word. The word in the gospel readings that strike my heart the most is verse 8 and 9. Then I said to his servants, the wedding feast is ready, but those invited were not worthy. Go therefore to the roads and invite to the wedding feast as many as you can find. Kahit sino ang masalubong ninyo, invite them. The good, the bad, even those who call me stupid. The invitation is for all. So that's the word that strikes my heart the most. Verse 8 and 9. O is the order. For me, the king is ordering me to accept the invitation to be the bride of his son, Jesus. And also to invite family and friends to do the same. The king said to me, my oxen, my fat calves have been slaughtered. Dinner is ready. Even the garments for the wedding is ready. Everything has been prepared. All you have to do is to come to the wedding and share the joy of your king. And I said to my king, but Lord, I am not worthy. We are not worthy to be the bride of your son. And the king said, I will make you worthy. You are stained with sin, but I will wash you as clean as snow. Although your stains are deep red, you will be as white as wool. And Isaiah 1 verse 18. I will make you worthy. I will clothe you in the garments of salvation and will array you in a robe of righteousness. Isaiah 61 verse 10. The king will make us worthy for the wedding to his son. And I cried. Do you also cry at weddings? W-O-R, reality. What is the reality in relation to the order of the king? How did I respond to the invitation? How did you respond? Were you invited because you were worthy? Or were you made worthy because you came? Today, as in the times of Jesus, there are people who ignore the king's invitation. They have other priorities. They're busy doing other things, attending to their business or their farm. Busy watching Netflix. It's like in the days before the flood, people were busy making money, busy making merry, eating and drinking, and ignored Noah's invitation to enter the ark. Matthew 24 verse 38. What do you do when people ignore the king's invitation? Well, the king said, leave them be. They are not worthy. Go and invite others, as many as you can find. Yun. That's the another group respond with hostility. The first group responds with, well, they ignored the invitation. Other group respond with hostility. They seize the king's servant, treat them shamefully, and kills them. Throughout history, some people, empires, government respond with hostility and violence to the king's invitation. But the servants are just extending the king's invitation. Why such hostility? Why such violence? Bakit kaya? Well, these people, these empires, their governments have been living in darkness for so long that they are uncomfortable with the light that the wedding of the Lamb with his people will bring. They don't want their lies, their sinful acts, their ill-gotten will exposed to the light of salvation, and so they do violence to the king's messenger. They falsely accuse bishops and priests, imprison and murder the flock. The king will deal with them as he had dealt with similar people, empires, and governments in the past. The king will destroy them and burn their cities, just like the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. So yung mga mayor ng mga cities dyan, ingat po kayo. There is a third group of people who accepts the king's invitation. They do not ignore, they do not respond with hostility, they accept the king's invitation and fills the wedding hall. But among this group are those who do not wear the wedding garment, but their own filthy garment of sin, covered with a robe of self-righteousness. The king will have these hypocrites thrown out of the wedding hall. What is your reality? Do you belong to the first group who ignores the king? Or to the second group who respond with hostility? Or are you among those who come to the wedding cloaked in a robe of self-righteousness? Direction, D-W-O-R-D, direction. Direction are the specific steps to bring the order of the king to our reality, to your reality, to my reality. And to me, the order of the king is to truly accept his son as bridegroom and to invite family and friends to do the same. Whatever your reality is, the first step is to repent and come to the wedding. Yes, we are all unworthy, but if we come to the wedding, the king will make us worthy. Just come to the wedding. Everything has been prepared, says the king. You were stained red in sin, but I will wash you clean as snow. Although your stains are deep red, you will be white as wool. You will be worthy to become the bride of my son. I will make you worthy. I will clothe you with the garments of salvation and will array you in a robe of righteousness. Yeah. Just come to the wedding and the king will make you worthy to be the bride of his son. Well, the next step is to invite family and friends to be the bride of Christ also. And there are many ways to invite people to this. As a member of the servant communities, I follow the servant community way as outlined in the servant communities Uplan Kaligtasan, which we have been discussing before. In the Upland Kaligtasan Way, those who respond to the King's invitation are organized into pastoral cells. Yan, into pastoral cells. Pastoral cells is a homogeneous groupings of 5 to 7 people, 5 to 7 members, which is the smallest unit or building block on the AC structure. 5 to 7 members, building blocks, smallest unit of the Upland Kaligtasan structure. The pastoral cell members then undergo a continuous process of formation. Formation meaning little by little, growing more and more like Jesus in thoughts, in words, and in deeds. The first level of formation is what we call the pre-aspirancy period. It is a period of courtship, a period of knowing and learning to love the bridegroom, to love Jesus more and more, knowing and Jesus, the period of courtship. Now, knowing and loving Jesus is at 2 levels. The first level is at the level of the head, knowing Jesus in the head, intellectual knowledge. Intellectual knowledge is obtained through diligent study, studying the teachings about who Jesus is, the person Jesus, about his church and the teachings of his church. Can you love Jesus with your head? Of course you can. You should love Jesus with all your being. But loving Jesus starts with the heart, puso. Kasi kung walang puso, walang pagmamahal. So at the level of the heart, or in other words, a personal and intimate relationship with Jesus. Not just head knowledge, but from the heart, an intimate knowledge of the person Jesus. And intimacy with Jesus is developed through what? Through frequent and close personal contact. Paano ba kayo nag-develop ng BFF mo? Ng boyfriend mo, ng girlfriend mo? Paano kayo nagka-develop? Through frequent and close personal contact. With Jesus, ganun din po. Contact. Frequent and personal contact. By spending quality time with Jesus in prayer, by reflecting and putting His words into practice, using the word method, by frequent reception of the Eucharist and visit to the Blessed Sacrament. Sacramentally, if possible, spiritually, if not, especially now in these COVID times, and through a devotion to Mama Mary. So close personal contact with Jesus, His church, His mother. Through prayer, Bible life, Eucharistic life, devotion to the mother of the Eucharist. So these teachings are contained in one pre-aspirancy booklet, which are to be practiced in the cell, in the community setting, in the cell. So, doon po matututo ka kung paano makilala at mahalin si Jesus. The 5 or 7 of you in the cell together will learn to love Jesus more and more. Okay? The teachings consist of, sa first level, sa courtship level, the teaching consists of basic catechism. So, catechism. and also workshops to deepen our relationship with the Lord. Workshop on prayer life, workshop on the Bible life using the word method, workshop on the Eucharistic life, and devotion to Mama Mary, the Mother of the Eucharist, and workshop on the abiding presence of God in our work. Whatever we do, whether we drink, we work, we do it for the glory of God. The key indicators of a successful courtship is one, growth in the love of Jesus. So you growth in the love of Jesus. 2, diminished love of self. Yun. Diba? You're growing in the love of Jesus and you are diminishing in the love of self. So hindi ka na masyadong matampuhin. Hindi mo na masyadong mahal ang sarili mo. You are no longer self-centered, but Jesus-centered. Yeah. Growth in the love of Jesus, diminished love of self. And then, what else? Growth in the love of others. So you are no longer self-centered, you are Jesus-centered, you're also other-centered. Yeah. So that's the meaning of joy, J-O-I. Why? The first is Jesus, the second is others, and the last is you. So, diminished love of self, growth in the love of Jesus, diminished love of self, and growth in the love of others. And the last indicator is a joyful disposition. So, hindi ka na bugnutin, lagi ka na lang nakangiti. You are joyful even in the face of problems and difficulties. Joyful disposition. So a successful courtship indicators are growth in the love of Jesus, diminished love of self, growth in the love of others, joyful disposition. Ang buhay ng Kristiyano ay masayang tunay. Wow. After a successful courtship, which usually lasts for more or less 1 year, a wedding or a covenant ceremony is scheduled. Sa servant communities po, mayroon kaming ginagawa na covenanting ceremony, we call it, for the pre-aspirants who have passed the 1-year courtship stage and are ready to become the bride of Christ. So in the covenant ceremony, the pre-aspirants make 3 covenant promises. Parang kasalan po, kasalan ng bayan. Everybody's a bride, and the priest represents Jesus, who is also the bridegroom. So in the ceremony, the bride make 3 covenant promises. Number 1, to love God with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength. Number 2, to love my brothers and sisters as Jesus loves me. Number 3, to strengthen, preserve, and expand the community as a family. The other members of the community in the higher level of formation attend the covenant ceremony and renew their covenant promises. Family and friends are invited to witness the ceremony. Have you ever witnessed or joined in a servant community covenanting ceremony? The ceremony is like a wedding, it's so touching. One cannot help but cry when people will say, I do, at the end to Jesus Christ. Do you cry at weddings? Ako, sa kasalan ko minsan, ako sa mga anak ko na kinasal, bagay, dalawa pa lang naman yung anak ko na nakasal. Yung iba wala pa. May ayaw pa. I cry at their weddings. After the covenant ceremony, the members proceed to the second level of formation, which is the aspirancy stage, and so on up to the fifth level, which is the resident or the diaconia stage, or this is the stage of loving service. Despite many obstacles, despite people ignoring the invitation, despite people responding with hostility, despite people joining the community cloaked in the robe of self-righteousness, the residents at the fifth stage of formation continue the work to build evangelizing communities of love with joy, joyful disposition. For that is the will of the King. That is the will of my husband. My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to complete his work. John 4 verse 34. Okay? So, for inquiries about Upland Kaligtasan, please contact our secretariat, care of Sister Igsal, at telephone number 0943-490-8629 or 0922-886-4309 or 0927-889-2014 or 0949-802-4526 or at servantcom@yahoo.com. Servantcom@yahoo.com. Com is spelled with double M. Servantcom@yahoo.com. Before we end this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the buttons below. Hanggang sa linggo po muli, kita-kita tayo. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen and amen and amen. Praise the Lord.